Hello everyone. Good morning. I am Oveshwar. Today's our topic is errors. Okay, we are in the previous lectures we have shown that the systematic error. Now in this lecture we have shown that the random error. The systematic error we have already shown. It has a three important things. First one is the instrumental error. This is the first one is the instrumental error. Second thing is that imperfection in experimental technique or procedure. And the third one is that, see here, third one is that the personal error. Okay, this is personal error. Now, in this talk, in today's we are discussing about the personal error. Why the personal error is depend? The personal error is our carelessness. Okay, it is individual carelessness. Operators or improper setting of the apertures or the individual carelessness is taking the observation without observation proper precaution. For example, if you by habit always hold your head a bit too far to the right while reading the position of the needle on the scale, you will introduce an error due to the parallax. Okay, now I already explained the what is parallax, so it is not here not necessary to explain the parallax. So this is the personal errors. Now, and that our today's our topic is the random error. The random error are those error which occurs irregularly, and hence the random error with respect to sign and the size. This can arise due to the random and the unpredictable fluctuation in experimental condition. Okay, suppose the random thing is an unnecessary thing is in due to the experiment. This is known as the suppose the fluctuation is occurs, unpredictable things is occurs. Unpredictable fluctuation in experimental conditions, the mechanical vibration of experimental setup, voltage supply, temperature. So this is the random error. Personal unbiased error by the observer taking reading. It is, for example, when the same person repeat the same observation, it is very likely that he may get different reading every time. Okay, now the least count of error. Now, first of all, the least count of error. So, the smallest value that can be measured by the measuring instrument is called the least count. This is the definition of least count. Okay. So, now suppose we have a meter scale. So, in the meter scale, we have in the our your compass box have a one plastic scale. So, it is a one type of scale. So, it is the smallest value of measurement of smallest value of the meter scale is zero point 0.1 centimeter. Okay, so zero point 0.1 centimeter, how it's occur, the one point, it is the smallest number of line is the one. Okay, z after 0 dead it is a 1, and 0 to 1 have a 10, 0 to 1 centimeter have a 10 lines. So one line, the value of one line is 1 divided by 10, it is equals to zero point 0.1 centimeter. So it is also measured in the 1 mm. We can also call the 1 mm. Okay, so the it is all the readings now. So it is the LC, least count. Okay, least count of the meter scale. The least count error in the error associated with the resolution of the instrument. For example, a vernier caliper has the least count as zero point 0.01 centimeter. Okay, we have shown that the point 0, we have already shown that the here shows that the instrument as vernier calipers. I already shown that the vernier calipers. Okay, so count is as zero point 0.01 centimeter, as a spirometer may have a least count of 0.001 centimeter. Okay, the spirometer and the micrometer screw gauge. What is the spirometer? The spirometer are used to measure the depth and the height by any curvature surface. Okay, so this is the spirometer. Spirometer, I shows you for a spirometer, and last slides. Okay, spirometer and also one micrometer screw gauge. So the spirometer may have a least count of 0.001 centimeter, and also the and also the value of micrometer screw gauge is also least count value of micrometer screw gauge is 0.001 centimeter. So the least count error belongs to the category of random errors, but within a limited size. It occurs with both systematic and random errors. It's error, yes, it is errors. It is the imperfection. There are the three main important things. First one is the imperfection, personal errors, and also it is one type of also it is a one type of random error. So it occurs with both the systematic and the random error. If you use a meter scale for measurement of length, it may have a graduation at 1 division scale, spacing or intervals. Okay, using the instrument or of high precision, improving the experimental technique, etc, we can reduce, etc, we can reduce the least count errors, repeating the observation several times and taking the arithmetic mean. Yes, with the instrument of higher precision, improving experimental technique, we can reduce the least count errors. Okay, we can reduce the least count error, repeating that the observation several times. Okay, one reading we will taking the lot several times, observe and taking the arithmetic mean of all the observation. The mean value would be very the mean value would be very close to the measure value of the measure quality. Okay, so what will happen? Suppose we are taking that the different, we have taking that the arithmetic mean, improving the experimental techniques, we can reduce the least count error, repeating the observation several times. Okay, we have taking the several time one reading, repeating and repeating and repeating, and we get the perfect reading. And then after we have taking the arithmetic mean. Okay, now I explain the what is arithmetic mean in the next topic. Okay, so our next topic is the absolute error, relative error, and the percentage error. So first of all, absolute error. Okay, so in the absolute error, suppose the value obtained in the several measurement. Okay, I already told you the value obtained in the several measurement. In the previous slide I told you, what do you think, we can reduce the least count error, repeating the observation several times. What will happen? Repeating the observation several times and the taking the arithmetic mean of all observation. So here we have shown that the how much we have time taking the reading a1, a2, a3. This is this measurement. Okay, this is the reading a2, a1, a2, a3, an. The arithmetic mean of this value is taken as the best possible value of the quantity under the given condition of measurement, as a mean is equals to, we have lots of readings a1, a2, a3 and up to an reading are there. So a1, a2, a3 plus up to an reading are there. Divide by the number of readings. An is the represent the number of reading. How much you will taking the reading, it will divide by these things. We will get the arithmetic mean. So it is the represent is that like that the a mean is equals to arithmetic mean is equals to I is sigma. This is the sigma symbol of sigma. Summation sigma is summation sigma symbol. So I is equals to 1 to n. Okay, I is equals to 1 to n, and here I is here a of I. Now here we are, suppose we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 up to, and we can write out and the summation of all the things divided by n number. This is because as explained earlier, it is the response reasonable as to suppose that the individual measurement are as like to overestimate o- overestimate. As to underestimate the true value of the quantity, the magnitude of the difference between individual measurement and the true value of quantity is called the absolute error of the measurement. The magnitude, I repeat, the magnitude of difference between individual measurement and the true value of a quantity is called the absolute error of the measurement. This is denoted by delta A. Okay, this is denoted by delta A. In the absence of any other method of knowing by true value, we consider the arithmetic mean as the true value. Okay, we have taking the arithmetic mean is we have considered that the arithmetic mean as the true value. Then the errors in individual measurement values from the true value are a1. Suppose here, so delta a1, we are taking that the delta a1 is equals to a1 minus mean. How we have mean delta minus arithmetic delta 1 is equals to arithmetic the reading minus mean, the reading minus a2 minus a mean, a3 minus a mean, up to an minus a mean. The delta A calculated above many may be positive in certain case and the negative in some other case, but the absolute error delta will always be positive. So here we have the delta magnitude of delta A will be always positive. Here we have taking the delta A. Okay, here we are taking the delta A will be always positive. Here it is always will be positive, so it is never negative. Okay, the arithmetic mean of all absolute error is taken. Okay, now we are taking the arithmetic mean of all the absolute error. We have find out the absolute error. What is the absolute error? Absolute error is that the magnitude of difference between the individual measurement and the true value of the quality is called the absolute error of the measurement. And one another thing is that we have taking the, this is denoted delta. In one other thing is that we have taking that the arithmetic mean is as a true value, and difference we are taking that the difference between the reading and the true in the mean, arithmetic mean. Here we are considering as the arithmetic mean is our true value. That's why we are getting that the absolute errors value. So delta, the arithmetic mean of all absolute error is, now we have taking also we have taking that the absolute errors here to taking the, it will gives us to delta 1, delta a1, delta a2, delta a3 up to delta an. It gives us to the arithmetic mean of all the absolute error is taken as the final. Now we have get the a1 a2 up to delta a1 delta a2 up to delta an. Now taking from these quantities of arithmetic mean, absolute error is as the final or mean absolute error of value of the physical quantity A. It is represented by the delta A mean. Okay, so thus the delta A mean is equals to delta A1 plus delta A2 plus delta A3 plus up to delta AN divided by N. N is the number of reading. Here N is the number of reading. So summation of I is equals to sigma is equals to I is equals to 1 to n delta I by n. If we do a single measurement, the value we get maybe in the range of delta A mean plus or minus delta A mean. Suppose you have a single value, then on that time we will just get a delta A is equals to A mean plus or minus delta A mean, or either A mean minus delta A mean less or equals to A, or less or equals to A mean plus delta A mean. This is implies that the measurement of the physical quantity A is likely to be lie between the delta A mean, either it is the physical quantity is lies between A mean minus delta A mean, or either A mean plus delta A mean. If this A will be between A mean minus delta A mean, either A mean plus delta A mean. It will gives us, it means it will gives us the it is likely between the a mean plus delta a mean and a mean minus delta a mean. Now instead of the absolute error we often use to the relative error, okay, or the percentage error. The relative error is the ratio of mean absolute error delta mean to the mean value of a mean. Okay, it is the ratio between the delta. Now we have the we are taking the ratio between delta and the and delta a mean divided by the a mean. So then the value of a mean of the quantity measure. So see here, this is our relative error. Okay, this is our relative error delta a mean upon delta a. When the relative error is expressed in percent is called when the relative error is expressed in percent is called the percentage error. Okay, now here we are multiplying the 100, it will gives us that the percentage error delta a. Thus the percentage error delta a is equals to delta a mean upon a mean into multiply by the 100. Let us now consider, let us, so delta a, it is the delta a mean upon delta mean in multiply by 100. This is known as the percentage, also percentage error. We have example. After that we have solving this example, but first of all we have another topic is that we have another topic is that the combination of error. Okay, in the next lecture we will discussing about the combination of errors.